Oh, hey. Well, I'm happy you guys stopped by. I have a little bit of updates on the truck, and I'd love to share it with you. So if you've been following the Instagram, if you've been following my TikTok, if you friend me on Facebook, you already know that we have gotten pretty far on that amp rack, man. It's nice. There's no raw materials laying around. All the amplifiers currently in this video are inside the truck. I have some RCAs left to put in and to tune the DSP, but let's go over what got us to this point. So where I left you off on the last video, we were having some electrical issues. Oh, god dang it, bro. My D3400 bit the dust. I love the D3400, but I am asking a lot of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm asking a lot of that D3400. It does have the bodyguard of the super ultra cap bank from excess power, but hey, look, an old AGM can only do so much. And when it's time to retire, you take it out to pasture. Oh boy. Makes me upset because I love the battery. So you gotta love those excess power batteries. Those things have just been kicking ass for better part of a decade with us. And if you want the lowest prices on any excess power battery, you go over to Showtime Electronics and you use coupon code BANGINBROS. And that is how you get the lowest prices on any excess power battery, capacitor, charger, product, you name it. Showtime Electronics has a discount with coupon code BANGINBROS for it. Anyway, fresh D3400 and the Ultra Cap got a fresh recharge like new, synced up well. Wait till a later video. I'm going to show you how to sync up those Ultra Caps. It's crazy, but it's simple. I'll put it to you there, you know. Anyway, the truck is back up running and gunning like crazy, man. It's excellent. Another update that we did was we fixed my tailgate. So my tailgate is back to working. See what I'm saying? Oh, I even got the easy assist to make it nice and easy. It don't slam real hard and scare the children and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to our team member, Corey Butterworth, aka Butters. He's the one who ripped that thing open and rebuilt the whole tailgate. I went and bought a kit. He did it all. So big shout out to teammate Butters. You know, he has the dual 6.5 roll-up window with his CSPs. Much more to come with him. But, so where are we at now? You saw that big sheet of metal, right? That thing was perfectly cut. I think, what did Micah say? 16 gauge? I think is what it is, 16 gauge sheet steel. So we figured the final layout, and it's where all the amplifiers need to go. Now, a big thing about having the amplifiers back behind that wall is that the seat has got to go in. And I got a stock seat with no seat lift. If the wall's like this, the seat's like this. You know what I'm saying? So the heavier amplifiers, not the heavier, the larger, fatter amplifiers have to be on the lower side. The smaller ones and the DSP can be on the upper side. So that's how we spread that out. I know that the two middle amps run the coolest. Hands down, run the coolest. Now the 5K runs pretty darn cool as well. It really doesn't get hot at all. So I'm not really so much worried about that one. The JP234 is the one that runs the hottest across this back wall. So that's why it got all the way to the passenger side. That is the closest to the door that opens. If you've picked up on this, this is a 99 GMC Sierra, and it has 3 doors, 2 fronts, and 1 passenger side rear door. So that one has the most airflow because it actually is a door. So that's why the JP234 is all the way to the passenger side. That is just thinking ahead of the game, I guess. We're thinking, where to put things. Where's the fan? Bro, there ain't no damn fan. We just haven't got that far yet. Maybe we'll figure it out, but, the amps have been back there for years and years and years, and that truck's never had a fan on that back wall. It did when I had it walled, and I had my amplifiers in a different orientation. It was actually right behind the driver's seat. But back on that back wall, I haven't had a fan on that one, and so we just let them run hot as fuck. And that's not a good thing. That's just what we're going to do, baby. That's our thing, I guess. Nah, for real, I am looking at fans. I have a couple left over, so we're going to try to figure that out. Above the JP234 is a nice spot for heat to rise, but also if I can get a fan that could either blow the out or flush cool air in, that would be great. But another day, another project, because it's been back there doing just fine for this long. So another question that comes up is, how are we going to mount the amps to the wall, to the actual metal itself? So, because it's like this and I don't have a lot of room, I'd love to put a 1-inch rubber slug. Oh, please, dude, that'd be great, right? I don't have that room. So I have a box of rubber grommets that are too small for me to run any wire through. That, well, not to say it's too small to run the wire through. You can if you want to. We never use grommets that size. So these little tiny grommets, although aren't much, they are a roughly eighth of an inch, not eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch rubber piece that goes between, if it's the sheet of the metal, the rubber grommet, the amplifier, then is your pan head sheet metal screw. The same screws I use to put the speakers in the speaker pods, they work fantastic for this. And so we just drilled out the perfect size hole and let the threads do the strength. So man, even though we have short hardware, it's the right hardware. And we did think about bolting the amplifiers to the rack, but we still wanted it to be, in case of an emergency, we could rip the amplifier out as fast as possible, or whatever the case, swap it out. You never know what the future holds as far as upgrades. And then the next question was that I wanted to answer was, what wires are going to be in the front, what wires are going to be in the back. So Micah figured out as many of the spots that we could drill holes and use the proper sized rubber grommets to feed the powers and grounds and speaker wires and all that. So that will be on the outside face, the face that you'll actually see. The only powers that the only powers on the outside are the ones that do not cross any RCA signal. That's the big one. You don't want an RCA and a power to cross. You just don't. You want your RCAs to be as independent as possible. So that's why we're doing RCAs on the inside, which is what inside, I guess, is where the side where the amps are. And then on the back side, that's where we fed all of the grounds and all of the speaker wires and all that and kept it back behind. Now, if you know that truck has a kind of a, I don't know what you call that pattern, but it has channels, all right? It's just like the tailgates or just like the beds. It's gusseted, maybe. I think that's what it is, gusset. So there's channels. We're using those natural channels to our advantage. So that was lining the amplifiers up where the wires are actually matching up to the channels on the wall to where we actually have some space back behind to run wires. And that's what we use as far as to our advantage to keep the entire wall as low profile as possible, the rack as low profile as possible. To get the same level of strength of the steel that we have in there, you'd have to have a pretty thick piece of plastic. But the steel, we don't have that much room, as far as the spot. So I can't be pushing these things out that far. It's got to stay low profile. So all the wires are back behind, all channeled through. And then you saw we put the SMD distro block, a ground in there. And that is a OFC 0 gauge that goes straight down to the frame. The exact same frame rail that my alternator, my battery, and my super cap are also grounded on, as well as the other amplifier back there. So now we have an SMD ground block there that we can piggyback the 8 gauge from the 2 middle amplifiers and the 4 gauge from the JP234. All of those grounds and the DSP and any other accessories that we need, we can tap into that ground right there. And the 0 gauge will offset the split off of the 8 gauge, 4 gauge, and the 16 gauge grounds that we're doing, the 10 gauge grounds or whatever. It'll be enough. And it's not that long of a run. So the grounds now are all shared, which before I was using 2 different grounding sources for my mids and highs, separate from the amplifier. So there was 3 different grounding spots in that truck. And yes, all the metal connects, but I want that shit direct to the one side of the frame rail. So that's exactly how it is now. Everything we've used here, from the amplifiers to the DSP to the SMD fuse holders to any sort of speaker wire, you can find it on BANGINBROS.com. You can find it all, from any Down for Sound product, any Stetson product, any custom speaker pod product. You can find it. Any second skin product, anything, bro. BANGINBROS.com is the new hottest spot to get everything you need banging. Another question that I know is going to arise is, how did you mount the actual sheet, the actual metal to the cabin? Okay, so Micah found these really badass self-tapping monstrous bolts. Okay, so what we did is, sure, you can call it what you want, but that truck back wall has been Swiss cheesed since 2008. So you know what? 6 more new fresh holes, but this time at much stronger. You know what? That's okay with me. But we put 6 of them in there. If you look across the top of the videos, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 across the top, and then down on each side in the corner, just to keep that up there. But then everything else, that thing is super secure. And, you know, I mean, could we have done it different ways? Of course, but then we would have had to take the bed off. And could we have done it, you know, I don't know, 6 screws. But, you know, everybody's truck is different. So if you don't like that on your wall, hey, look, this customer is me. On your truck, you call the shots all you want. And guess what? I don't give a fuck what you do. Do it with how you will, but we use some big old thick-ass sheet metal screws. So we went over the rubber grommets, the metal wall, all the wires behind the... Now, there was another thing I wanted to bring up is, should we have painted the metal? Should we have done this? And, you know, that's not going to add any extra layers or whatnot, or, you know, extra size or anything like that. So it could have been a thing. But, dude, there's just something about a fucking heavy metal rack like that you just make it look and make it known that shit's pure metal, baby. That ain't no wood. That ain't no plastic. No, baby, that's steel. You know, so I wanted you to look at that thing at first glance and go, damn, brother got steel in that bitch. And we do. And so that's kind of the reason why. Yeah, it's a little, you know, whatever, but it's all good. All the components have a rubber grommet between the steel to their amplifier case, and everything is grounded pretty short. Everything is right, man. It's looking really good. Real quick, I'm going to give Micah one hell of a props, dude. He has been keeping this thing on course, and there were times when I'm like, I don't know, dude, that's not going to work. And man, Micah pushed through, and so I got to give major props to Micah for figuring out a lot of little things that I wasn't thinking about, you know, the other piece of the pie. So anyway, the amp rack's looking really good. Right now, we are at the point where these are the RCAs that I wanted to run. And these are just made up myself. It's taking a long RCA with splitters and all this crap and tech flex, and some look pretty good, but then, you know, some look like the guy she didn't tell you about. And so that's why I just, you know, I went to a professional. And I got custom ones made, perfect to length, and that we will show you in Chapter 3. The tune, the DSP tune, and custom one-off RCAs, hand done here in America, and we'll show you all of that. Keep an eye out on TikTok, keep an eye out on Instagram, keep an eye out on Facebook, because that's the story unfolds across all platforms. YouTube sometimes just get a nice big old chapter so you can sit down and read and have a nice glass of wine and shit. But for everything else, the story is across all platforms. So that would be Chapter 2 on the heavy metal amp rack. And man, I am so excited. We got a little bit more work to go, but hey, you know, it's okay. We take our time because there's no rushing on this. You know, I don't have a show or anything to go up to. And yeah, I need to continue to make some more stuff. But also we have some life things. My puppy dog, he needs some assistance. So I kind of had to take a gear back. He got going to surgery this week. So all that kind of thing. But the truck's running. Tailgate works. I even put in a heads up speedometer display on the dash, you know, so it's doing good, and we're just making progress. But once that truck's buttoned up, I can't even tell you. I won't tell you because I'm a storyteller, and I gotta wait till the right time to drop the news. So don't even worry about it. Mwah. One more chapter, and that will be the finale. After that one, we'll turn it up and we'll be jamming it. So it'll be all good to go, and then moving on to the next install. But hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been Anthony. Y'all go check out banginbros.com because that's got everything you're ever going to need. Peace.